Welcome to this edition of the Think Tank of the 2016 presidential elections. You know, this is going to be like a episode of Columbo. I'm going to do the Peter Falk here. I'm going to tell you what the predictions are, so you're going to know what it is, and then I'm going to explain how I got to these predictions. So my prediction is that Donald Trump will be the next president of the United States. And not only that, I have another prediction. He is going to win in a landslide. Now I'm going to explain why. First of all, the incumbent president and the incumbent party, from doing history, I have never seen in the history of the United States where there was a recession, which we have now. We're obviously in a recession. You look at the data, you look at the numbers coming out, it just flashes recession. Things aren't going well. You look at the GDP numbers, you look at the numbers for durable goods, you look at the amount of part-time jobs that are being created and full-time jobs that are being lost. You look at a lot of indicators. You look at inflation. Prices are going up substantially. All right, now you even have oil prices coming back up again. I mean, they went down as much as to about $26 a barrel, and now they're coming back to close to $50 a barrel again. So prices are going up. And you have a weak economy at the same time. I mean, you have retailers laying a lot of people off. Things aren't going well with the economy. When you have a weak economy, and at the same time you have inflation, that's the worst of both worlds. I mean, that's pretty bad. Even in the Great Depression, we had deflation. So at least if you had money, back then there was a gold standard. Money was worth real money. It was gold. So you could go out and use your money, and your money would buy things that you needed. So things are not going well. When the recession happened under their watch, their party did not get reelected. Donald Trump is an outsider, and he was very, very effective in getting his message across that the people in Washington are corrupt. And he was pointing out and got a lot of people's attention that you just pull strings and you get what you want. And he did that in his career. Because unfortunately, if you're in the business, especially real estate, and you're in New York City, which is probably the most anti-personal liberty, anti-property rights place in the United States, and you're able to accomplish the things he's done, I mean, it just goes to show that there's only one way to get anything done. Because the laws are here to protect the people. However, the politicians have overridden those laws to benefit themselves. They create situations where they have to be paid off in order to get anything done in the real estate business. So a guy like Donald Trump or any real estate developer should be able to use the laws of personal liberty, of property rights, to build, to succeed in the real estate business. I mean, if you have money and you have capital, you're able to purchase a property, you're able to put up a property without having all these laws to prevent you from doing so. These anti-personal liberty, these anti-constitutional laws that prevent you from putting up a property, from building. Instead, the only way to do that, the only way to get anything done is you have to work with politicians. You have to pay politicians to do things. And it's wrong, and that's his message. He's saying, look, I want to change this. You know, you should be able to do things based on capital investment, not dealing with politicians. They have no right to get in your way, and this is the problem. This is the problems that he faced and the problems that all real estate developers or people with businesses face when they want to get anything done. He was very effective in bringing that message across. There's a lot of business owners that face the same problems, and they see, you know, wait a minute, he's right. You know, here's a guy that's in that business, and we're facing the same problem. So people are getting that message. The other thing about him is that he's very entertaining. I mean, if you look at presidential debates, I'm thinking that the debates themselves were probably the highest rated in history. I mean, who watches presidential debates? I mean, who watches that stuff? It's like watching paint dry. Who's interested in that stuff? They only watched it because he was there. He's very entertaining. I mean, if he pokes fun at these people, and they deserve to be made fun of, and once he does it, his poll numbers go up and theirs goes down. I mean, it's incredible. He has that effective way of throwing an insult, and he makes it stick. So he has that ability. I mean, I think he had around 17 people up there. The Democrats didn't have that many. Not even close. There were just a few people up there. And he just knocked them all down. I mean, one after the other. And keep in mind, a couple of the people up there, I don't even think were politicians. And he was still able to win. He's just able to resonate. He's proven to be likable. And that's the thing about him. He's a billionaire, but he's not one of these billionaires that doesn't connect with the little people. You know, billionaires generally, they're in their private jets, they have their townhouses, right? They have their own society, their country clubs, golf clubs, but he resonates with the common man. The common man connects with him. He has that personality. It's very unusual for someone who's a billionaire, but he does have that. You see, I'm an observer. I'm observing all these things, and I'm getting it. I see something here that's very unique and different. So if he was able to win against people, by the way, you know, a lot of the Republicans that he ran against, you know, they were pretty much mainstream Republicans. I mean, they didn't do anything that was out of the ordinary. A lot of politicians have scandals and things going on. And, you know, not everybody's 100%, but, you know, I mean, he basically flattened them. Now, could you imagine in a one-on-one debate where he's going to have all his attention? Imagine, I mean, because in the Republican debates, I mean, he was being attacked from all sides. I mean, there were around 17 of them. They even had an undercard or something. And he was able to beat all of them. Now it's just him against another person. So he's going to be able to channel all of his fury, right, against his challenger. Now there may be a third party there. I don't think they're going to get into the debates. That's my other prediction. My prediction is that it's just going to be two people in the debates. I don't think they're going to let the third parties in. So that's another prediction that I'm making. So that's prediction number 3. It's just going to be two people in the debates. It would be great if there was a third party. I would love to see that. More ideas would be spoken about. It would be more contested. But unfortunately, the way the system is, it's not going to happen. Now, the other thing is, the reason why I'm saying he's going to win and in the landslide is because his competition is somebody that just has a lot of baggage. Now, keep in mind, Americans, you know, they're not the brightest bunch. I would say, as far as their ranking on IQ, they're amongst the lowest on the totem pole. I mean, they're pretty dopey and pretty lazy. And the reality is that they like scandal. Rather than show contempt for it, they show interest in it. I mean, all you have to do is go to a supermarket and you buy the checkout, and what do you see? A bunch of tabloids talking about a bunch of disgusting, ridiculous nonsense. Now, I never watch TV. I don't know who these loons are in Hollywood, but obviously there's a very strong interest to see what's going on in their lives. And the other thing is, if you look at trials, when these celebrities go on trial, they get off. I mean, the jurors, they probably think, oh, you know, what could they have possibly done so wrong? It's impossible. You know, somebody as great as they are, you know, only us little people could possibly do something so terrible. I mean, you're so wonderful. They could be guilty of this crime, and they let them off. Now, you can say they have good lawyers. Well, there's a lot of people that are rich that have good lawyers, but they're not celebrities, and they don't get off. So the point is, I mean, this is America. America. This is America, right? This is what people look at. So you could say, is scandal a bad thing? Well, I don't know. Like what I just said, this is a point, a very important point that I wanted to make here. However, Americans read about it. The question is if they will go out and vote for it. Will they physically go out and vote for someone that's done bad things? Don't forget, voting isn't easy. You can't vote on the click of a mouse. You have to go out and vote. First of all, you have to register. That's work, right? If you register, you physically have to gas up your car. You got to go to the place where you have to vote. You're going to have lines there. You got to wait on lines. You have to go into a booth. You got to press the right buttons, right? Before you get there, you got to find parking for your car. Then you have to get back into your car and drive home. It's work. People have better things to do. Or if they don't have anything to do, if they're out of a job, right, which a lot of people are, they'd rather stay home. So, I mean, think about that. That's very interesting. Now, getting back to what I was saying, another point is Donald Trump got more votes as a Republican candidate to become the nominee than any candidate in history. I think that's very substantial. You know, that is a very substantial thing. And the other thing is, like I said, his debate performances were unbelievable. I mean, so many people watch his debates. When he stepped out of a debate, you could see hardly anyone was interested. You know, the ratings plummeted. The networks were going crazy. We have to get him back. I'm telling you, this is it. I mean, he brings a lot of interest to people. People are interested in this guy. The polls don't reflect reality. I don't believe them. I think these polls are phony. When I made my first predictions, a lot of polls were saying, oh, maybe there'll be a broker convention. Oh, look, another one of the candidates won some primaries. You know, maybe they'll come back. It's not too late yet, right? All these things were going on. And meanwhile, that's not what happened. He won. And they're wrong again. They're saying that he's trailing. He's not trailing. These polls are goofy. A lot of them are partisan polls. They get their poll numbers from robocalls. And keep in mind, if it's a state-by-state basis, who are they polling? States are huge. Within states, you have cities, then you have counties, you have neighborhoods. People are so different from a short period away based on race, ethnic background, religion. And then you have all kinds of political beliefs just within family structures themselves. I mean, it's very difficult to poll. You actually have to wait till people go out and vote to see what's going to happen. And then, of course, you know, you have the undecided people. Keep in mind, in the 2012 election, there was only around 53% that went out to vote. You know, that's not a lot. So think about this. If they're claiming that she's leading by 5 or 10 points, something like that, I think that's what a lot of the polls are saying. I mean, all he needs is what, another 14% of the population to come out and vote? Especially since we're in a recession and he's a popularist candidate. Keep in mind, a popularist candidate that's not trailing by that much, there's going to be a lot of people that are not going to go out and vote. You know, they might say, well, they don't like him, and a lot of people don't like him, all right? And there are people that just won't vote for her because they don't like her either. So if they stay home, that benefits him. Because I tell you one thing, his supporters are passionate. Just look at his rallies, they're going crazy. And you look at her speeches, I mean, you know, I don't see the enthusiasm. Now, if he does win, nothing much is going to change. I mean, I hear what he's saying. I agree with the problems that he's exposing, but his solutions are going to make things worse. He wants to keep Social Security. There's nothing to keep. Social Security is broke. We are heavily in debt. All right? We're not creating the jobs. There's no revenue coming in to pay out the people that are already retired. So there's no new revenue coming in to pay it. There's no money left. He wants to take care of veterans. We can't take care of veterans. Where are we going to get the money from? The military is way too big. It's bloated. The whole country is completely broke. The country itself is morally, ethically, culturally, and financially broke. You can't make political points anymore that are going to get chairs by taking care of veterans. It doesn't work. Where is it going to come from? And then he shouted out that he's not going to let people die on the streets, right? Well, is he going to use his own money to take care of them? Because they do use the expression about throwing grandma under the bus. Well, the question is, how many grandmas are you going to throw under the bus to save other grandmas from being thrown under the bus? I mean, who's going to pay for it? The middle class is practically wiped out. The jobs aren't there. Full-time jobs are being destroyed to create part-time jobs. The economy is a mess. You can make great political statements, but you have to back it up. Where is it coming from? So these policies are just basically going to create more debt. That's what it is. Where is it going to come from? More borrowing, more money printing, right? That's where it's going to come from. Well, how much could we continue doing that? Time is running out. Now, here is what he will change. This is something that I find appealing. First of all, a lot of the people that hate him, I hate. All right? So that's what I find appealing about him. I mean, if he's saying things and politicians hate him, he must be doing something right. With that being said, he's a guy that's on the outside, absolutely no political background, He didn't even have any job that was connected to government. He is a complete outsider, okay? He's a wealthy man. He doesn't have any special interests that are supporting him. So whatever he does, good or bad, it's based on his conviction and to benefit himself. So that's a good thing. That narrows it down. I mean, he really doesn't need this, does he? I mean, he's very wealthy. He's already very popular. Now, the other thing is, I don't see him as a Republican or a Democrat. I just don't see him as being part of either of those parties. He doesn't seem to fit that mold. He's different. And I think it's just good that he shakes up the system. The fact that he's not part of that whole two-party system, which is really a one-party system. The fact that he shakes things up, it's a good beginning to put, to change things, like, put like a chink in the armor of the political system that we have today. So maybe it'll open up a door for more people to come in, more third-party candidates. It'll be more acceptable, that people won't be like zombies, that they have to either vote Republican or Democrat, that there are other choices. We'll see more parties there. More people will get into the debates. It can be possibly an opening because of the fact that he's not considered either Republican or Democrat. So that's interesting. It'll be good just to see that. But with that being said, like I said, based on what he's saying, nothing is going to change as far as his policies. They may get worse. If he comes through what he's saying about tariffs and Social Security and health care and taking care of veterans, all this stuff, and then he talks about making the military stronger. The military is already too strong. We have to shrink the military. So all these things are big government talk. That's why I think things aren't going to change, because it sounds pretty mainstream. Like I said, the only silver lining to it is the fact that he's outside the system. Now, am I supporting him? No. I am not a supporter of him, and I'm not going to vote for him. Now, if a Democrat comes in, things will get much worse, far worse than what Trump is going to do, because that means keeping things as they are now, right? More left-wing, pinko, commie Supreme Court justices, right? A heck of a lot more spending, violating more of our rights. It's going to be another 4 years of what we have now. They're honest about it. You see, his platform is Make America Great Again. Theirs is America is already great. But it's not. It's not great. Because if it was great, Trump would have been long forgotten. He would have came in, maybe made one debate, and he would have been forgotten. He wouldn't have been taken seriously. And of course, Bernie Sanders wouldn't have been taken seriously. I mean, here's a guy, he was grassroots. I mean, he was very popular. He was winning primary after primary after primary. I mean, he should have won, and then look what happened. Right? He's winning, but he didn't win. And people are not happy about that, especially his supporters. Now, why did these two candidates get so much attention? Because things are rotten. Things are not going well. And that's the main reason why he's going to win, and he's going to win in a landslide. So that's my prediction. This is a very interesting election. I would like to know what you think. Please leave your comments. Please subscribe. Please like up this video. And thank you for tuning in.